Hey, everybody, welcome to the Hot and Hotter podcast. I'm Arti.
And I'm Dan.
Every episode, I give Dan a recipe and we find out if it's
A success,
or a disaster.
nevertheless, it's bound to be an adventure. Let's get to cooking.
I like kind of a cold open, I guess, because we don't have music right now, so we'll figure that out later. But everybody, it's Arti, and then you go. And Dan.
Hey, Can we start over?
Yeah. Everybody, it's Arti.
I'm Dan.
And this is the Hot and Hotter podcast. Think of us like the Odd Couple meets food, except, something like that.
Except one of you's met food before?
Yes, exactly. But it'd be something like, think of us as the Odd Couple, the food Odd Couple, or something like that.
You really want us to be a couple?
Listen, Dan, just because we're married doesn't mean.
What? Just for clarification, we're not married to each other. We have our own respective wives. Wait, now we sound Mormon.
All right. I swear to God, we are our own people.
Well, we've already offended half our listeners.
Right? Shit, don't got that Mormon crowd now. We're done.
We're done. We're out. We're done.
So something like that. So what do you think?
I think we've already recorded it.
Oh, okay. Here we go. This is gonna be how it's gonna stop. This starts and it should be just shitty cold opens, and we're gonna go.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, let's do it. So this week we did Croque Monsieur. I'm sure I'm saying that right.
No, I don't. I don't know.
It's essentially the best grilled cheese. Is what it's a French grilled cheese. That's
allegedly.
what it is.
Allegedly the best grilled cheese.
Allegedly. I mean, we'll get into that. So, Dan.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Well, first of all, I can't even pronounce it. Use crook, like as in like something that robs you.
Croque Monsieur.
Oh, like a frog noise.
Exactly. It's frog noise and then a classy person.
Okay. All right. So a croque monsieur.
Here you go.
So it's porridge poured over a sandwich, right?
Yeah, sure. We can call it that.
Okay. Well, look, you use all these fancy words, and in the South, what I figured out as we've kind of put this idea into motion here is you have all these fancy words for just what is normally called a sauce. Like you've mentioned things
essentially, yes.
You've mentioned things like a roux.
A roux, yeah. It's a mother sauce is what they call them.
A mother sauce? Well,
yes.
Here in the South, everything that is a sauce is just called gravy.
I mean, that's what it is. That's where the South got it from, the French.
Okay. Well, correction. Let's address some of our Latino gravy or queso. Those are two sauces down here.
Queso. Wait. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, queso has a roux base, so that makes sense.
If you're gonna roll with me, I'm just gonna simplify the hell out of everything. All right, gravy and queso. You're dropping words like
bechamel. I know.
What is that? That sounds like a women's makeup line. Like
it's the French word for gravy, I assume.
All right, whatever. All right, so
bechamel bechamel meaning in English. Here we go. A rich white sauce made with milk infused with herbs and other flavorings. It's gravy, yes, but it's also bechamel.
Is it supposed to be chunky?
No. It's not supposed to be chunky.
Well, the top of mine wasn't, but when I got to the bottom, it was a little chunky. So here, let me tell you what happened.
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay, so you sent me this recipe, and I read it to my wife because she's like my interpreter for you.
Yes. Okay.
And because she understands a lot more of the words that you say. And so she's like, that is a lot of stuff. How many does this make? I was like, I don't know. She's like, well, go to the top. And usually at a recipe, I'll tell you like how much it yields or whatever serving size, right?
Yes. Yeah.
yields. What am I doing? Mining? But so I go to the top and it says makes 4 to 8. She's like, it's me, my wife, and a 6-year-old that only eats a minimal amount of things, right? She's
Yeah,
like,
so you
that's way too much.
yeah, of course. So you cut it in half.
Okay. Yeah. Stay with me here, Artie.
Okay, I'm sorry I interrupted. Please continue,
No,
sir.
no, no, you're good because cutting it in half became part of the issue, I believe.
Please
So
continue, Gravy King.
so I go through I go to the grocery store, which was an ordeal in itself. I met this nice lady that works at what's called like a meat counter, and and they
A
also have
butcher?
cheese. Yeah, that one. And what do they call them if they do the cheese thing though? Are they still a butcher?
No, that's a totally different another name that you probably don't know.
Yeah, okay, let's not church it up too much. All right, so she takes the big wheel thing with the spinny thing and pushes the thing over it and makes slices. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah, I saw
It's
him
a
do it once at
delicatessen.
Arby's. That's a delicatessen. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I once saw it at Arby's. That's all I know. And so they cut up this. I got the special type of meat. I got the Virginia ham because the
Nice.
recipe
There you
calls
go.
for
Yep.
ham.
Yep.
And then we halved that because we only needed like 2 to 3 sandwiches. So
Yeah.
I halved the amount of meat we got. And then like I got the cheese, and I've never done this before where you walk up to the counter and they unwrap the cheese and like, how much would you like? I'd say, I don't know, what's half of this? And I'm literally holding my phone, pointing at it, going, half of
Uh-huh.
this, please. And and so she just cuts off this chunk of cheese, and I'm like, is that it? Is that all I do? She's like, yeah, it just says you got to grate it. Okay, well, I'll
Yeah.
cover
Yeah.
that whenever I get to that. All right, but thank you for helping me today, ma'am. So anyway, I met her. We had an exchange. It was very lovely. She was nice and very very patient with me and my, you know, not knowing anything about cooking for the most part.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I got this chunk of cheese and I got this thing of ham, and then I go get some milk because we're an oat milk family. We don't do like regular cow milk anymore. We've
That's
kind
okay.
of
Understandable. We do the
yeah.
same.
Wife is weird, so I just don't eat a lot of cereal anymore. That's really what the point is. And
Okay. Wait. We gotta do a quick fork real quick. You can eat cereal with really good oat milk and it tastes very good. Okay, continue.
oh, I don't get to participate in said fork. You just get to shove me in it and then bump me back on path. I got it. All right, cool.
Do you not know how this works yet? Come on.
Oh, okay, got it. By the way, I like the fork pun in a food podcast. Clever, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyway, try not to go too long here. I get all the materials. It calls for 2 cups of milk, right? Which
Hmm.
is what, 16 ounces, I believe.
Yes.
I
Yes.
learned that 8 ounces in a cup.
Hmm. There
And
you go.
that sets up the whole problem here.
Okay.
So when I went to make the recipe, I did have everything except for the milk. So I have a saucepan and I have put in the butter. I have melted the butter. I have added the things, and then
Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
pour in literally a small Rhode Island amount reserve of milk. Uh, like it's literally like I took someone's like 6-month ration of milk here. It looks so disproportionate, and I'm staring at this, and I sent you a picture of
Hmm.
me
Yes.
staring at this saucepan,
Yes, you did.
and I'm looking at it, and it's like a white. It says it's supposed to thicken in 2 minutes, and I'm looking at it like there's no way in hell this thing is thickening. It is literally there is somewhere at the bottom of Liche Lake here is some cheese thing that's happening, because before I poured it in, there was a little puck and it looked kind of cool and it was like kind of fun to play with, and like the butter and the cheese that I put in there and all that.
Wait.
Yep.
Butter and okay. Keep going. Wait.
Did I already mess up?
Wait. You put the so when you made the roux, you put the cheese in there.
Okay, whatever was in the roux. Whatever was in the roux.
It's just flour and butter.
Okay, flour. Yes, flour. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. No, no, I'm not idiot, Artie. Come on.
I mean, your words.
the yeah, the flour, because I panicked about 3 minutes into the thickening. I panicked and I threw more flour in. I was just like, this has got to do something, right? And so I'm staring at this vat of white liquid that's not hard and thickening, and the time has come as I gotta put the Dijon on the bread, and, I gotta, put the ham and then, the grated cheese on that and put that in the oven, and so I get to a point where I'm at a fork here, Artie, and
Okay.
I'm standing over this very, very viscous vat of whatever it is, and I look at my wife and I go, "I have to pour some of this out." I mean, like, I would stir it up, the fork would bring up some kind of, like, gelatinous thing
Mm-hmm. Yep.
out of it would, like, come out of the liquid, and I was like, "I think that's the stuff I need." And so I shake it off and I go to the sink and I'm just pouring out milk until I start to see some texture, right?
Yeah.
And I can't go too far because I don't wanna lose any of the roux,
Yeah.
and
Well, I
and s
mean, okay.
so let's just say when it came time to pouring this stuff on the sandwiches, it was a little, runny. Let's just say that. And
Okay.
I had to get creative with, like, getting the goop out and onto it. So wh what? Is I don't
Continue, please. I'm sorry.
then I baked it, and it looked like you know what it kinda reminded me of pastry kinda thing, like a dessertish kinda looking thing, like, where you pour, whatever on it and whatever, except it just didn't look very well, let's just say it didn't look like the picture in the recipe.
Okay. Okay. Understood.
But we ate it and everything was good. The kid actually ate half of his because I churched it up as being a really, really fancy grilled cheese. And he's like, that doesn't look like a grilled cheese. And I'm like, it's a grilled cheese, I swear. And he ended up eating half of it.
Well, that's
And
good.
the wife loved it. She said it was good. And I guess if I ever try it again, I will use half as much milk.
I mean, yeah, that's usually what you do when you cut a recipe in half is use half the things.
Yeah, got it. Got it. Okay.
I mean, learning experience. Okay, so let's walk through this.
Uh-oh.
So,
I feel like I'm being evaluated here.
so the roux,
Yeah.
you're supposed to flour butter first, cook that for about a minute or two, and gets it gets that flour taste out, and then
You're
you
supposed to taste
immediately
it?
no, that's just how long you cook it. It gets the flour taste out.
Okay.
So after that 1 or 2 minutes, you then want to remove it from the heat, pour the milk in, and whisk vigorously until it all combines.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that,
I remember that. It said that in the instructions, like, continuously whisk.
yes, you have to continuously whisk, and then it will combine everything. Even if you put too much milk in it, if you vigorously whisk it until it combines, it would still thicken up. It would just you just have to cook it down a little bit longer, always stirring it. So it sounds like you didn't whisk it.
Artie, I whisked like I've never whisked before.
Well, I'm sorry.
Okay. I mean, it wasn't, like, super chunky, it just had little
Mhm.
bumps, had little
I
bumps.
mean, and honestly, for anyone listening to this and for you, if that happens and it just won't combine,
Yeah?
if you have a sieve, run it through the sieve. Get rid of
Oh,
the chunks. Just run it through a sieve.
that's smart. So, like, you're saying which part of the sieve do I keep? The part inside or the part that falls out?
No, the cream that comes out, essentially, the sauce. And the chunks just get rid of.
Oh, we might have eaten some chunks.
It's a workaround, but sometimes you screw things up and it's an easy fix. It's
Yeah.
what it is. Um, so another question. Did you pour it all over the top of the sandwich or did you put it on each bread slice?
Okay, the instructions said that I was supposed to lightly brush the
Yes.
Dijon
Uh-huh.
on the parts that touch the meat in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then after that, it just said spread.
Okay. So bad instructions. That's on me. What you do is you put the Dijon on the the top bread inside that's touching the meat, and then you
Okay.
put some roux on the bottom piece of bread that the meat's on, and then on the very top, and you put cheese on both parts where the roux is. So essentially, the bottom bread should have roux and cheese, ham. Then the top bread should have mustard, and on the outside of it, roux and cheese.
Yeah, your instructions. Okay, Artie, you're gonna have to understand. My wife has a nickname for me,
Okay.
and her nickname for me is my good little government worker. So
Okay.
if you have to give me clear and concise instructions, and I will follow that till like you. I'm a perfect little lemming, my dude. When it's about stuff I don't know, like this, I will follow
Okay.
it off the cliff, dude. And if you tell me to put 2 cups of milk in, I'm gonna put 2 cups of milk in. Or if you tell me to lightly brush, I'm gonna sit there and question myself, is this light enough? But I will lightly brush. And it told me to just um not pour, what did it say? Coat. Yeah, it just said coat the top. That's all I got.
I mean, that's technically what you want to do is code it, but that's my bad. I should have checked. I should double check the instructions.
Look, it's
So
been a learning
time,
process for both of us.
next time I know
Yeah.
to use even vaguer instructions.
You gotta give me, like, the first grader version.
Well, I mean, it sounds like it went awry, but ended up tasting good. So
Yeah, I
that's
I
a decent
think
outcome.
I think, getting out of my self-deprecation mode here, I believe things went as good as they were going to go considering the level of experience that I think comes with a little bit more of a finer dish that this is. And
Mm-hmm.
by
Mm-hmm.
finer I mean like the minutia that goes into creating that style of it's a very French sounding dish. I mean, it technically is a grilled cheese, but the way that it's prepared, the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the things that you do, like the roux that you make for it,
Mm-hmm.
that's like a higher, I'm not just slapping a craft single on there.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. It's you have to put work in to make the
Mhm.
product.
Which I do appreciate on the back end, especially if it's been prepared for me by someone that's way better at this than I ever am. But and I appreciate, that extra flavor that comes with it or the uniqueness that comes with it because then it
Mm-hmm.
turns it more into an experience when you're eating as opposed to
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
consuming a sandwich.
Yeah. I mean, did you at least have fun making it?
Well, I mean, we all did. My wife recorded a little bit of the process, and
Okay.
basically it's just me staring bewildered into a saucepan. But yeah, she got some of that, and I do have the footage, and I'll share that with you. And if we ever have what are called listeners,
Oh
we
yeah, I've
can
heard of those.
we can provide them with some of the artwork as well. But I did send you that one picture because I knew you'd get a
Yeah, I
kick out of
did.
that.
That was fun. That was it look you look like a confused man staring into an endless abyss.
Yep, it was a white abyss, and there was
Yeah,
stuff
there
at
you
the
go.
bottom that I was supposed to retrieve somehow. Now I know. Use a sieve.
uh well, granted, it didn't go over the best, but it still tastes good and that's what matters.
Yeah. It's not like I'm having to go down some like chef line and get approval from like all these 5-star chef people dudes. It's just my wife and my kid, who my kid
There you
hates
go.
everything anyway. So,
I mean, if they ate it, you did good. That's what it
well, I
comes down
mean,
to.
I might have threatened them with an early bedtime if they didn't, but
I
yeah.
mean, if it's not recorded, it didn't happen.
And we'd like to join all the CPS listeners that are now hopping into our podcast.
Let's just have all the listeners who've listened just hate us immediately. That's
Yeah.
that. I think that's the plan. I
And
mean,
and I will say, let me say this real quick, Artie. I
uh huh.
think I think some context needs to be for our listeners. We might need to go into a little bit of a background for each of our we jumped right into the recipe here. I think we kind of
That's
need to
true.
lay out maybe our backgrounds in the field of culinary arts,
That's
and
true.
and they
We
might
should
get a
do
little
that.
bit better appreciation. Okay, I'll go first and
Yeah,
it'll be
you go
quick.
first.
Um, my culinary background consists of making hamburger helper whenever my mom was working. No, that's Freudian. Whenever my mom was working, my sister and I would stay home, and I would have to just brown a meat, throw some pasta in, and a sauce, a prepackaged sauce thing, and then that was our dinner until mom was able to make it home. And so, I mean, I did a lot of that, Velveeta craft and cheese, um, and grilled cheeses, very very simple stuff that you can do when unsupervised. And then when I got into like college and I was out on my own, I did your typical ramen. I got fancy one day. I thought it was really cool when I took a Foreman grill. I grilled a chicken breast. I cut it up and I put it inside my ramen. And I was like,
Ooh.
I am hot shit right now. That's no one was there to appreciate it except for like my dog. and then that's pretty much it. One, I had a grill. I never really used it. And then I've been asked to carve a turkey once, and I'm sure I messed that up, but everybody, they were happy because I got turkey. That was it, and that's literally the extent of my culinary arts. I mean, I maybe have baked cupcakes before, or frozen dough cookies or
Yeah.
whatever, but I mean, literally following the box line by line. And then I met you, and then I heard about how you just literally look at something and go, "No, I want to do this," and then you do it, and then it turns into something that looks delicious and professional, and it's like you're a wizard. That's just really what it is. You have things in your hands that are sleight of hand, and you're pulling food out of. I don't know how you do it, but you do it really well. That's me. Let's hear you.
I mean, being a wizard, I don't know. There's been a lot of screw ups along the line. So, me, I started out kind of like you. So, latchkey kid would get home and make like ramen and whatever after school.
Yeah,
And then I got my first job at 15 and a half, you know, the prime age for work permits.
you got to wait till you get to
And
that half, though. You're not prime until you're half.
exactly. They know. They know when you're right for the plucking. So I got a job as a dishwasher at a Italian restaurant. It was a very popular Italian restaurant, and I just worked my way up. In about a year, I was the line cook cooking their steaks and specialty dishes.
So at 16 and a half, you were literally on the chef line there, or cooking line.
Yes, yeah, I was on the line. So I started out as a runner, which is the person who goes and grabs the food for the line cooks and the chef, and then got promoted to on being on the line.
That's impressive.
Well, I mean, yeah, and no. I mean, it's the cool thing about cooking is that. Oh, sorry, before I go off on a tangent.
Yeah, yeah. Go
And
ahead. I'm
then
sorry.
from there, I've been cooking that whole time. So I've been cooking actively and learning things purposefully for what, 20 years? Holy shit. That number, I don't like saying it. But anyways, so 20 years of cooking. Um and at one time I was attempting culinary school and did not like it. So I stopped doing that. Didn't last long, but you know,
Maybe we can go a little bit deeper into that at a later show or something.
I mean, there's not much. I was like a month of it, and I was like, "This sucks. I'm out."
Yeah. Okay.
um, it's one of those things for me. Cooking is, it's a joy. It's like it's a hobby for me. Um, and I never wanted to mix that side of it. So yeah, that's my whole experience.
Okay.
So that's why my things may look wizardry, but they're not.
I feel like you humbled the hell out of that. Like I've seen some of your stuff, and it doesn't sound like some latchkey kid that was washing dishes then just decided to stick with it as a hobby. I really feel like your stuff is incredible, man. You've got some YouTube content out there. You've made some really good dishes. I mean, it looks impressive. It looks like it comes naturally to you.
It does. It does. Cooking is easy for me. I have an easy time pairing flavors. I naturally understand what tastes good, what goes together. Just that's just I can do it. Just is what it is, I guess.
All right. Well, that's our background. I guess I do need to say one other thing to add to
Yeah.
mine. I'm sorry, because I'm not completely idiot. In the last 3 years, my wife has a business that has been able to retire me. I used to be a teacher, full time teacher, obviously, so I would be gone a lot of the time. She said that's enough. We had a kid. She wanted me home more, so she built a business to where I was able to retire early. And so now that I'm kind of like the house guy, that stay at home dad, I've had to learn some things. So one thing that Artie was, interested in doing this with me was because I'm getting into more culinary things. So for
Hmm.
the last 3 years, we have been doing that HelloFresh subscription.
By
And
the way, HelloFresh,
again,
we don't have a sponsor, please.
yeah, we don't. And so I will say, in the last 3 to 4 years, I have gotten a lot of experience But I would say looking how you work on things and how I'm doing things, it's still fairly limited because it's really strict by the recipe and following the list. And that's my comfort zone, obviously. And so the HelloFresh or any of those subscription-based services felt like a good idea because it would get me into kind of understanding how to cook by cooking these. They're not completely simple, but I can see that they're simplified in order to, provide. They have to balance a good meal with flavor, but and simplicity as well, and what the consumer has access to. Because basically, what you get in the box, if you've never done these, is everything, and you only have to provide the cookware, which is very simple. Like a couple pans, maybe a saucepan, um,
Yeah.
and then like an oven
Hmm.
and a toaster from time to time or a microwave, which 90% of people that are even able to afford a HelloFresh box should have those things, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, anyone as of now can get any needed cookware at relatively cheap prices.
Hmm.
I mean, and also the HelloFresh is a great way for anyone to actually start cooking because, like you said, it has very specific instructions, but what's the word? It introduces you to all these flavors that you might not normally gravitate to.
Sure.
So it just by it having all these options and you using it, it naturally like kind of refines your palate, which is what anyone who wants to learn to cook or get good at cooking has to
Hmm.
do. You have to. I mean, this sounds kind of pretentious, but you have to refine your palate so you know what flavors go with other flavors, what you should never mix. I mean, that's all cooking is taking a flavor and saying, "Hey, does it work with this? Yeah, cool. Combine it. If not, nope, not doing that again." That's it.
Yeah, that's way more simplified than what, because I guess I focus on the procedure more than the end result. And so I'm focused on the mechanics and how you get to the end result as opposed
Yeah.
to what I'm trying to do.
Mhm.
And I will say doing these HelloFreshes has, I mean, I would say I've done about 300 recipes. And now again, they're all, it's to the point now where we can kind of predict what's in the box. You'll have like a chicken cutlet dish, you'll have maybe like like a rice dish, and then you'll have like a tortilla dish or something.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's kind of or you'll have, so every now and then they'll throw some beef in there, and every now and then they'll
Yeah.
throw some like there's a salmon, there's a couple salmon and some shrimp. But again, they also have to do it logistically to where they're sending these things and they're going to be on packed ice for a couple days, so they can't get super fancy with really crazy ingredients and whatnot.
Of course not. And it's also probably what they can get their hands on.
Exactly. Like whenever COVID hit, there was some shortages, and then like they had to really send some less protein heavy dishes and stuff like that. But the other thing I want to say before we move on is I have noticed some things, and you're right, that exposure uh through a HelloFresh or any of these other subscription services, you I'm starting to pick up on saying things like, I'm not measuring out a pinch of salt anymore. I'm
Mhm.
just I'm
There you
just
go.
throwing it in there. Or I'm not one thing that I really learned that I thought was cool was whenever you're doing pasta, reserve some of the water that you cook the pasta in because apparently it's like extra starchy and it's nice for mixing with sauces.
Yeah, it what it will do is it emulsifies the sauce.
Okay, here's what the words. What is that?
Emulsify, all it is it takes it's starch, and
Mhm.
then it helps combine fats and oils together, I believe. So that's an emulsification, which is when what two things that don't combine combined.
Okay. And what does that do, like, taste-wise or cooking chemistry-wise?
It's a texture thing. So let me actually make sure I'm explaining this right. It essentially takes like imagine oil and water, and you
Mhm.
combined it, and then it. I don't know. I'm not explaining this very well, honestly.
But you're saying it creates a texture which works well with, like, good pairing for what?
For really, it's sauces is what its
Gotcha.
main thing. So to get technical, it it takes hydrophobic things, which are things that don't mix well with water,
Mhm.
and causes it to mix. and it has to do with the what it's like it's molecules and shit. I'm sorry.
No, 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 no.
That's the
It's cool.
definition. It's molecules and
Mo-
shit.
Molecules.
Molecules and shit, guys. That's
Science
how it
with
works.
Artie.
Okay, first take the thing and then put it together, and the molecules and shit will just work together.
I feel like that's going to be our first shirt if we ever have merchandise.
Molecules and shit. uh
God, that's a great idea. Anyway,
yes.
and then so like that's what I wanted to say is I am starting to pick up on like some of those tendencies. I'm starting to trust myself when eyeing a piece of chicken to see if it's cooked or not. I still cut
Yeah.
it open a little bit to see if the inside, especially if it's a thick piece, but like I'm starting to get to where I can recognize some of those things.
Oh, cool. I mean, that's good. That's the whole. That's the point of it, really. That's
Yeah.
the goal.
So
Okay.
that's all I had.
Okay. Cool. Let's do a little history of
Uh-oh.
the Croque Monsieur. So so the Monsieur is of course it's French, but
Of
apparently
course.
yeah, listen to the name. So apparently it originated around 1910 in Paris, and it's kind of like it's essentially a what's the word, like a very like home meal.
I mean, it's just a fancy grilled cheese, right?
But the thing is, it didn't start out as a fancy grilled cheese. It started as like a working class homes just lunch in France.
Okay,
So
so hold up. You're saying that this sandwich and its complexity was on the same level of as me being a teenager trying to make hamburger helper for my sister and I?
I mean, no,
Okay.
it'd be like you guys making a grilled cheese at home.
Okay, but like you're saying that's on the same level cuz I mean, this sandwich kicked my ass.
Well, yes. So essentially, the way they started out is it was just simple ingredients found in any French home. So bread, cheese, and ham.
Okay.
But they normally would use sweeter bread, so like a a brioche. That's the word. Come on, brain. And then they would sometimes dip it in egg. But yeah, it just started out as like a hearty home meal for just like I guess the working class of France. France? What the fuck is wrong with me? Started as a meal, the working class of France. There it is. That was hard. And then, so the cheese was normally Gruyere because I think that was what would be the most accessible. Or there's another one, a Emmental. I'm saying that wrong. I know I am. They're just white cheeses, white French cheeses,
Okay.
and the whole bechamel part of it didn't start until restaurants got a hold of it, and that's when they decided, I guess, assuming to class it up. So they threw the bechamel on it, and that's it. That's essentially how it was started. So early 1900s.
I could see like for like marketing reasons and uniqueness they because it sounds so I mean it sounds so French obviously, but
Yeah,
because it sounds so I don't know, it sounds like high society almost. And
yeah, yeah.
if you kind of church it up and throw it on a plate in a five-star restaurant, then it's like a unique experience, I guess.
hmm Oh, and
So
also, side note, there's also a version called a croque madame, which they just put an egg on top. That's supposed to be like a hat, I guess, a woman's hat.
is it so it's a fried egg?
Yeah, it's a fried egg.
That actually sounds pretty good. And then it sounds like a breakfast thing.
Yeah, yeah, it does. So it seems like it's a pretty versatile dish, and it started from humble beginnings,
Okay. So
which is pretty cool.
the ones that we made had ham in it. Are you saying the
Yes.
original ones were probably minus that protein because it
No,
was a
no,
little bit more?
ham. It was ham. They had ham in them
Okay.
because the
Gotcha.
bread, cheese, and ham was in like every household.
Gotcha.
So it's pretty cool. Y'all gonna get learned today.
Yeah. So all the pictures you've shown me are like this like toasted, almost like broiled um,
Yeah, yeah.
concoction. Mine looked like biscuits and gravy.
Well, hey, just the first step. There's gonna be many more foods we make that you make look like biscuits and gravy. Let's be honest. We're gonna try to make steak, and it's gonna come out looking like biscuits and gravy somehow.
Oh my god. Like a good like I know what a good steak tastes like. I am
Hmm.
scared to death on trying to cook one because it everybody has such a high standard when it comes to steak, I feel, that I've already just let them down.
So you made it, and it's just a failure already.
Yeah, it's like I hand it to him. I say, "I'm sorry."
I mean, maybe that'll be what we do next. Something easy, because that is actually not a hard thing to make. Steak is this weird. Now, of course, we're like detouring here,
Yeah,
but
of course we
steak
are.
steak is this weird like status symbol it's become.
Mm,
It's not hard to make. Like a steak, it's literally hot pan, butter, steak, flip, your steak's done. It's not hard.
yeah. Maybe just people are very picky about how they like their steak, and they're very opinionated.
I mean, the proper way to eat a steak is medium rare after it's rested for about 30 minutes after cooking. That's the proper way to eat a steak.
Hmm.
But you know,
I guess we'll have to cover that at a later time.
we will. We will.
Okay. Well, thank you for that history on the French grilled cheese.
You're welcome, sir. Glad to do it. Glad to teach you something there, teacher boy.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I hated what I just said. That was terrible.
Well, I mean, if you ever want to know how to play a French horn, I can help you out with that, but I got
Well, I
nothing
mean,
on.
okay. I guess we want this to be at least PG rated, buddy.
Well,
Jeez.
look, I was a music teacher. Come on now. Don't make me out to be some kind of freak.
I'm gonna teach you how to play a horn, boy. That's what we do in the South.
And we lost the
There
other half
goes
of
more
our listeners.
listeners. Later, guys and gals, and
Nice.
as what's his name would say, non-binary pals.
There you go.
I love Kenji, dude. I love Kenji. Anyways, so that's it. I think we've covered all the things we've talked about. Oh, actually, real quick, mine came out amazing, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, tell me about your like. So, walk me through how you made yours. And did you first of all did you follow a recipe, or did you just kind of have an idea of what you wanted and go from there?
I looked at the recipe for ingredients, skimmed it, how to put it together, and made it. So I made the roux. Mine came out smooth. Um,
I feel like that's very. Mine came out smooth.
Little backhanded comment there. So mine came out smooth. And then I got a whole rounded loaf of sourdough, cut big slices. Like it said to do. If you didn't get pre-cut bread, and you're gonna cut it yourself. It's about 1/4 an inch. Um, I made big boys at 1/2 an inch.
Ah,
And the reason I did that is because the bread I got was really airy, so it was gonna toast really well in the oven. So I wanted like some big honkers that like got like a nice crunch to it when you bit into it.
mm-hmm.
So and then I took the bottom piece, put that down, put the roux on it, not the roux, the bechamel. Wow, look what I'm doing. I'm making mistakes. Put the bechamel on it, put the ham on it, put the mustard on that ham. Actually, oh, I got back up. Bechamel, put the cheese on it, put the ham down, put oh my god, what is wrong with me? Let's try this again. Bread, bechamel, cheese, ham, Dijon mustard, and then close that up. Bechamel on the top outside, and cheese on top, and then baked them.
So,
And
in your skimming of the recipe, that order of process of where you placed those things, was that already on the list, or does that just what you decided to come up with?
it was on the list. Well, I mean, it wasn't directly on the list, but it told you how to build the sandwich, but it wasn't in the clearest way.
Okay.
So that I mean I think that's part of the reason I chose a terrible recipe. So that's why you had trouble with it. So going forward, what I'm going to do, choose a recipe, refine the instructions to make sure it's very clear for you, and then give it to you.
I mean, there's a part of me that I would appreciate that, but I also think there's a part of me that's like, I'm not going to learn if I don't kind of mess it up, you know?
Well, that's why I didn't want to do it this time. So no, yeah,
Okay.
screw that. I want you to mess up. I want you to
Okay.
mess up a lot, and I want to hear the
Well,
stories about you guys not eating the food.
it's counterproductive to our goal, but all right.
Yeah, I mean, You know what they say? You gotta screw up to learn, or
That's true.
some shit like that. Someone says that.
You got to fall down to learn how to pick yourself up, right?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Just Hallmark carded it.
But I have no arms. Oh, there goes more
Figure
listeners.
it out, Timmy.
We just lost the no arm people now. Great. Having done one, and we have no listeners.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
Right? Gotta pull yourself up. See what I did there? That's called a
Yeah,
callback. You're
I
welcome.
like that. I like that. So, moving forward, I think this is definitely a dish that I want to try again
Hmm.
because after doing it and realizing my mistakes, I can see how this is a simple dish.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you said, once you realize how it works, it's
Hmm.
not hard to make.
Yeah.
And like even so, side note, the bechamel, you can make that a day or two before because it's just a gravy and you just put that in the fridge. It doesn't need to be hot when you put it on the bread.
Okay.
So like for future when you want to try it again, make the bechamel the day before. So you're not trying to like do all the things at once
Well, I mean, it wasn't like it was crazy. Um, and like how like you said, vigorously whisk. How long did you whisk vigorously?
until the chunks are gone. You just whisk.
Okay. If you were to put a time on that, how long would you say you had done that?
I have a pretty well. You had that whiskey was pretty intense. So with that thing, I did it for about 3 or 4 minutes off and on. So I'd whisk it and
Hmm.
then check it, whisk it, check it, whisk it, check it until it was smooth.
Okay. Well, and you'll have to watch those videos back and get a better idea of
Yeah.
what
Yes.
happened in the.
I look forward to that.
All right. So I guess the last thing I have in questions, what would be good to pair with this dish?
What do you pair as in beverages or other foods or
Yes. I mean, like if you so like the way that it was presented in all these recipes was more like a dinner. So like, do
yeah.
you have something on the side? Do you have?
I
I
mean, for
mean,
something like this, I would honestly keep it simple, just like a side salad or something like that. Because this is a very I don't
it's
want to say
heavy.
it's heavy, but I don't want to say it's flavor intensive because the flavors aren't too intense.
Yeah.
They're pretty smooth flavors, but just like a nice salad with like maybe some fruit in it or something like that because it's very fatty and rich. So you
Hmm.
want something either vinegary or like kind of citrusy and sweet to cut through that fattiness. So usually you'll see pickles with it or pickled something with it. A
Mm.
nice salad with like a vinaigrette or something on it that would probably help too. But since it's so heavy, like you want something that's light on the side if you're gonna have a
Okay.
side with it.
Yeah. It is definitely it's a thick sandwich. I mean,
It's a big boy
with
or
all the
girl.
cheese and the with all the what's the name of that? Gruyere,
Gruyere.
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 Because I mean, I had a when I got done grating all that, I had a large. There's still cheese left in the fridge. We didn't even use all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of cheese.
So I mean, it was very moundy. It was a mound of cheese, and then you put it inside, then you put it on top, and
Yep.
so no, I'll give it another go.
Yeah.
I think the next. So this is not a sandwich that you pick up with your hands. You knife and fork this, right?
No, I ate it with my hands.
Did you really? I totally messed this up then.
Like you're supposed to put enough bechamel on it to coat it. Think of it like when you're making a sandwich and you put mustard or mayonnaise on something.
Hmm.
Like that kind of amount.
Yeah,
And
I didn't
then
do that.
you put on the top and you want to cover it in cheese. And then when you bake it, that cheese will get nice and bubbly and crusty. So you'll be able to handle it and it won't be soggy.
Okay. Is it pretty greasy? Like, because I only knife and fork, so I didn't really manhandle it. Is it a
It's not
greasy?
too bad. It's not
Okay,
too bad. I mean, there's gonna be some on your hands, but
sure.
you know, it's no different than like how a grilled cheese feels on your hands.
Okay. Because some of these pictures looks like you're manhandling a Parmesan chicken.
I mean, kind of, it looks like that. I mean, the color palette is the same essentially.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well, I'll have to give it a go in the next round. We'll see how that goes. Maybe we do an episode where we like revisit
there you
the
go.
recipe and like talk about we can re-listen to the episode and then talk about how it might have improved or differences.
That's a good idea. I like that.
All right, put it on the list.
It's on there. All right. I mean, I think we did it. We covered all the things. If anyone listened to this, we immensely appreciate you. So
All one of you,
yeah, all one of you.
which is probably, well, I guess two. If we, I mean, my wife will listen to it. I
There
don't
you
know
go.
if your wife will.
I mean, probably not. No, I'm sure she will. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening, you guys. We appreciate you guys and gals.
I'm glad my pain could be your entertainment. Especially, I can't imagine if anybody out there is like a chef or a pretty versatile cook, and they're just listening to me be a complete asshat when it comes to
I mean,
kitchen
they'll probably
stuff.
disappoint in both of us, but that's part of the fun, honestly.
I will say what I've learned is like other cooks are super judgmental of everything.
They are, which I hate, which is kind of why I wanted to make this, because cooking and food should not be gate kept. That is a stupid, silly thing. I don't care if you're a chef. I don't care if you have the education of a master's in food. I don't, I don't care what your opinion is on food. You should not demean other people for trying.
Wow. Okay.
In the end, a piece of paper means nothing if you're a dickhead.
And that's our second shirt.
There it is.
All right. Well, yeah, I look forward to it. So I think moving forward, we're gonna do like every other week. We'll do a dish. Is that what we
Yeah.
decided? Like
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
dishes a month, so to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All
Keep
right.
it
Well,
light. Keep it easy.
do you already have one picked out, or are you gonna we just gonna find out in episode
Well, what I was thinking is you
2?
could pick out the next one.
No, 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 no. I'm not that caliber yet. I got to take the instructions. I can't.
All
I can't
right.
give
All right.
any.
So yeah, I'll pick out a dish and I'll figure that out the following week and we'll go from there.
See, I think that's the charm of what we have here, Artie. Is like you're Macaulay Culkin in the house,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I'm the sticky bandits trying to get in and rob the house, and then you're concocting all these things that just make my life absolutely hell.
I mean, yeah, you're true. You're true. You're true. What is wrong with my brain and mouth? Are they not connecting today?
Next episode, after Artie's brain
Jesus.
surgery, we're gonna come back and he's gonna be.
My God. Help me. Help me.
But no, that was fun. My kid and wife enjoyed the spectacle that was my kitchen, and so they look
Oh,
forward to the
good.
next one. My
Uh-huh.
wife is a foodie, so I mean, I say that she knows a lot more about food than I do. She's way more. Let's just say with my wife, I'm not boxing my weight. All right, I married up because I am
Lock it
not letting
in.
that thing go. But no, I love my family. They were very supportive of this, and I think this will be fun moving forward.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's gonna be cool. Not gonna be, it is cool. All
Well,
right.
thank you to whomever might be listening. We do appreciate it. Like I said, we're going to be doing this hopefully every 2 weeks. We've discussed maybe sprinkling in some informative episodes. Maybe like, I don't know. There's a list that I've been putting together, like how to pick out good pans, or
Yeah. Yeah.
how do you something, maybe reviews on utensils or things that will help you out.
Yep.
Quick tips or tricks or something
We
like
will be
that.
doing all those things.
All right. Well, that's all I got, Artie. I'm out.
All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good day and keep cooking.